Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. Today I've got a really nice set of papers. Today I'm looking at these brand new aiming for grade papers. This is the aiming for grade 5. It's viewed as a foundation paper, although it's really great revision for higher tier as well, if you're aiming for a 5 on the higher or the foundation. So this is from spring 2023, so a very modern paper. We're currently in April 23. So it's suggested an hour and 30 minutes. It gives basic information. We've got 24 questions, so we'll probably do this in 2, possibly 3 videos. I'll do the videos in chunks of 10. I've been asked to go through the answers a bit more quickly. So rather than say whether P or M, I'm just going to kind of tick it so we can get a bit more speed through the paper. I need to kind of wrap this up by sort of within an hour, and it's an hour and 30-minute paper. It says here, questions have been arranged in ascending order of mean difficulty as found by students achieving a grade 4. I think that should say grade 5. I've just done the grade 4 paper, and we've got different questions, so I think they've just not updated that. And we've got use it as a guide for how much time to spend on each question. Right, so we'll kick off. Question 1 then. So write 124 as a product of its prime factors. So our basic way for doing this is with the prime factor tree. So I'm going to start with 100. Let me get my pen sorted. I'm going to actually change that blue color. I want a nicer blue. So standard. I like that blue. Okay, so 124 is going to be my starting point, and I'm splitting it off. I tend to pick out the lowest number straight away. So that's going to be 2 times by 62, which is going to be 2 times by 31. And 31 is a prime number, so we stop there. So we're looking at, as a product of its prime factors, 2 squared times by 31. And that's the only one on that page. So Mark suggests M1 complete method to find prime factors. So we go M1 or tick and tick. Right, question 2. Find the value of y. So that needs to add up to 360. So I'm doing 360 minus 270, which is going to give me 290. Give a reason for your answer. Angles around a point equal 360. So angles around a point equal 360 degrees. Right, and marks for that then. 1 mark for 290, and then 1 mark for your reason. For example, angles at a point add up to 360. So there we go. Right, question 3, pressure, force pressure. Storage tank exerts a force of 10,000 newtons on the ground. The base of the tank is in contact with the ground by a 4 by 3 meter rectangle. So key information. Work out the pressure on the ground due to the tank. So we need to work out the area created. So the area is going to be equal to 4 times by 2. So the area is going to be equal to 8. And we want the pressure. So pressure is equal to force divided by area, which is going to be 10,000 divided by 8. Yeah. And I'm going to kind of cancel that down by 4s. So 4 goes into both of those numbers. 4 goes 2,500 times and twice. So I'm looking for half of that, so 1,250. And we've got our newtons per meter squared, which works perfectly for us. So 1,250. Right, marks for that then. So we have got processing mark, so for getting this far, and then 1 mark for the answer. Right, question 4. Savio leaves his home at 7:30 to drive to work. He drives a total distance of 50 miles. Savio thinks he will drive at an average speed of 40 miles per hour. If Savio is correct, what time will he arrive at work? So we want to do 50, the distance, divided by 40, which is going to be 1 and 1.25 hours, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes. And if he starts at 7:30, then he should arrive at 8:45. What time format are we going for? 24-hour clock, so didn't really need the AM. So 8:45 or 08:45 on a 24-hour clock. In fact, Savio's average speed was greater than 40 miles per hour. How does that affect your answer to part A? So part A, what time will he arrive work? He will arrive earlier at work. He will arrive before 8:45. Right, and let's look for marks then. So for part, we're on question 4. Let me find the marks. Okay, so we have got a P1 for finding the process to find the amount of time he spends driving. So if we get that far, that's our mark. We've then got a mark for attempting to add, and then a mark for the answer. And then for part B, for example, it will be earlier, so he will arrive before. Let's miss my E off before. Lexia hitting in there. So there we go. Green. Okay. Question 5. So solve. So we could treat this as it equals, or we can just treat it as our inequality. So I'm going to add 27 to both sides. So 7x is going to be less than 8 plus 27 is going to be 35. Divide both sides by 7. And that gives us x has to be less than 5. So I write that as my inequality. X is less than 5. Right, question 6. There are 240 cans of drink on a shelf. Each can contains cola or lemonade or orange. So we've got our ratio, cola, lemonade to orange, 5:3:2. Half of the cans of lemonade and 1/12 of the cans of orange are removed from the shelf. Half of the cans of lemonade and 1/12 of the cans of orange are removed from the shelf. Work out the number of cans of cola as a percentage of the total number of cans of drink remaining on the shelf. Okay, so if we look at this, so I'm going to start off taking that again. So we've got cans, cola, lemonade, orange. 5:3:2. Right. What I'm going to do is, just to be a bit crafty here, I'm going to convert these ratios because I can't really. My issue is I can't comfortably take 1/12 as a ratio away. What I can do is I can build this ratio up so that I have 12 here, which is what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to times all of them by 4. So if I do that, I would have 20 to 12 to 6. And then half of the lemonade is taken. So I've now got a ratio of 10. 1/12 taken. So I've now got 11. 6. Work out the number of cola cans as a percentage of the total number of cans remaining on the shelf. So in terms of the total number of cans, oh, okay. I've only just spotted that we had 240 there, which would be a much better way of doing it. So let's scrap that. Let's kind of rewind. And let's actually go for the numbers. So we've got 240 split into that ratio. So each part of the ratio is going to be worth 10. Sorry, there are 10 parts to the ratio. So each part is going to be worth 24. So we start off with 24 times by 5 is going to be 120. 3 times by 24 is going to be 72. Okay, that works. And then 2 lots of 24 is going to be 48. So that's the number that we start with. And then the information, half the lemonade is taken. So we've now got 60 lemonade. 1/12 of the cans. So if I divide that by 12, I'd get 6. So we've got 6 less. So that would be 56. And orange remains the same. So now we've got a total of look at the number of cans of cola as a percentage of the total number of cans remaining on the shelf. So we have got total number of cans remaining. Oop, need to enlarge that. Just go back on that slightly. There we go, and move that into the right place. Right, so now we've got a total of, these are going to be our values. So we want to work out the total number of cans now. So in effect, that's going to be 60 plus 56 plus 48. So we've got a total of 8 plus 6 is going to be 14. And then we've got 10, 15, 16, 164. Right. I'm really struggling with this question. I've just realized I've taken half of the lemonade. So I've done these figures wrong. I thought they weren't looking very nice. So not a very well done question so far. Right, let's look at that again. So the numbers weren't working, and there's a reason. Half of the lemonade and 1/12 of the cola. So I've got that the wrong way around. So half of the lemonade would be half of that. So I've got 36 lemonade, and then 1/12 of the orange juice are removed. So I've now got 110 half of the lemonade and 1/12 of the orange. So that's 1/12 of that. So that's going to be 4 of those removed. So that would leave me with 44 of those. Right. That makes better. So the percentage of the total number of cans of drink. So cola is 120. And then the total number, these add much better. So we're looking at 80. So it's out of 200, which works so much better. So we're looking at 60 out of 100. So as a percentage, we're looking at 60%. There we go. Got there in the end. Okay, if we look at marks for that question then. So we're starting off with a mark for working out, press to find the number of cans of each drink. So in effect, we can, for of each drink. So there we go. Method mark there, mark for finding the number of cans of each drink. So in effect, it's one for my method, one for finding the values. Mark for press to find the number removed. So that picks up my mark there. And then one for the fraction, and then one for the simplified. There we go. Okay, question 7, work out. So 0.004 times by 0.32. So I'm going to treat this as just the numbers, 32 times by 4. 32 times by 4 becomes 128. We need our answer to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal digits in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking at 0.00128. Okay, and that's it for that page. So where are we? Question 7. Question 7, for example, 4 times by 32, and then converting. So we've got 1 mark there, 1 mark there. Right, question 8. Jenny drives from London to Swindon at an average speed of 54 miles per hour. She drives for 1.5 hours. Work out the distance from London to Swindon. So it is 52 times by 1.5. So that's going to be 54 plus half of 54, so 27. So we're looking at 81 miles. Right, and Alexia is using a map. The map is of a scale of 1 to 25,000. On the map, the road has a length of 6 centimeters. Work out the length in kilometers of the real road. So if we're saying, in effect, what that means is 1 centimeter in real life is going to be equal to 25,000 centimeters on the map. So if I say it would be that many meters, and then it would be that many kilometers. So 1 centimeter is going to be equal to 0.25 kilometers. So 6 centimeters is going to be equal to 6 times by that, which is going to be 1.5 kilometers. So actual distance 1.5. And that's it for that page. So what does the mark scheme say? It gives 54 times by 1.2, 1.5. So mark there. For the second part, what are we saying? So they've done it the opposite way around. So we'll go 1 mark for the conversion, then 1 mark for the method, 1 mark. Right, question 9. Write as an ordinary number. So the decimal point needs to go 3 spaces that way. So we've got a total of 3 zeros involved. 0.00163. And then just double check 3 places would take that decimal point there. So that would work perfectly. As a standard form, so 4.38. So we place the decimal point somewhere to make it a number between 1 and 10. Times by 10, and then in effect we've moved it from there to there. So we've moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Okay, and then on a non-calculator paper, so we're going to treat the number part. So work out 4 times by 10 to the 3 times by 6 times 10 to the minus 5, giving your answer in standard form. So I'm going to split the number part to 4 times by 6, and the standard form part to 10 to the power 3 times by 10 to the power minus 5. So my number part is going to become 24, and my index part is going to become, we add the powers, so that would be 10 to the minus 2. Right, and I need to convert that into standard form. So in effect, I'm going to have to times that by, I'm going to say that's 2.4 times 10 to the 1 times by 10 to the minus 2. So that becomes 2.4 times by 10 to the minus 1. Right, and that's it for that page. So mark scheme for question 9. We have 1 mark for answer. The second part, 1 mark for the answer, and for the third part, it's 1 mark for the method, and okay, 1 mark for the answer. I've seen that be worth 3 marks before. It's 1 mark for getting that far, and then 1 mark for converting. No drama though. Question 10 then, final one of the video. At the end of October, Fiona's electricity meter read. Okay. At the end of November, her electricity read. Each kilowatt of electricity she used cost 16 pence. Work out how much Fiona had to pay for electricity she used in November. Right, so let's set this out right. So double check my numbers. 887388998. So the amount of electricity she used was 260 units of electricity, or kilowatt hours of electricity. And if each one of those costs 16 pence, in effect, just to make this not much more straightforward, but I'm going to treat it as 260 times by 0.16. Cancel the zeros. So I'm looking, no, not cancel the zeros. So I'm going to treat it as 1.6 times by 26. So if I do that multiplication, 26 times by 1.6, and I've made a slight mistake there. That was 4. 14 times by 1.6. I'm going to treat it as 14 times by 16. So 6 times by 6 would give me 36. 6 times by 4 would give me 24, plus the 3 would give me 27. 0 in the units column, and then times it by 1, so 4 and 6. Add the two numbers together. 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. And then we've got 7 there. So my answer to that would be 736, but I've got to add a decimal point, so that's going to be 73.6. So my answer is going to be, total price is going to be £73.60. Right, the mark scheme for that then says M1 for finding the correct value, M1 for attempt times it by 16, showing, oh no, an M1 for knowing that you're multiplying them, an M1 for the method of multiplying, and then A for the answer. Right, I will stop the video there and restart shortly.